Sunday, or whenever you're watching this. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you for watching last week's video, and thank you for watching this one as well. Today I wanted to film a little video showing what I'm planning to knit from August through late October, so basically the next 3 months of knitting, or late summer through early fall knitting. So I think let's just get right into it. So let's go. The first pattern I'm planning on knitting in early August is a test knit. So I'm making the Inzio socks. I'll insert a photo here for the lovely Emma of the New York year. I don't have the yarn for these yet. I'm actually going to Seattle next week and going to a couple of the amazing yarn stores there, so I'm going to pick up a special skein to complete this project there. But that will be my first knit of the late summer season, I guess. Very excited about that. And the next thing I will be making is another sock. I'm really going hard into socks right now. I actually just finished a pair I'd like to show. I'm very proud of them. I've been calling them my Barbie socks. I got to wear them to the Barbie movie yesterday. So this is the Flora Shorties by Larkspur Knits, and I use Salty Blonde fiber in The Queen Takes Milk in Her Tea and Tea in the Garden. You can see it's got this beautiful motif here, as well as the cuff. So sweet. So very happy I completed these. And I guess my next 2 projects will also be socks, so hopefully I don't hurt my fingers too bad. But as I mentioned, my next project will be the Mix It Up socks after the Inzio socks by this Handmade Life. And I'm planning on, these are very stripy socks, so I went through some of my mini stash and I tentatively have these colors, so they're all from different things. I think all of these actually are from a Gem State Yarns, which is a shop on Etsy, does scrappy clubs every month. So this was one of the scrappy clubs, I think for April, or part of it. And I have this brown as well. So I think this might make a cute pair of socks, a little more autumnal maybe. So planning on that. We'll see how my fingers feel after the Inzio socks though, but tentative. Want to make these socks, and these socks are actually for a knit along. Oh my gosh, Magpie Fiber. I'll put the name of who is hosting, I'm forgetting right now, but a yarn dyer and a book publisher are co-hosting a knit along / read along, so I really want to participate in that. So I'm planning on making these socks, which is one of the, I think, 4 patterns or 5 you can choose from. And then I'll be reading the Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies as well. So excited for that, hence the large amount of socks. Typically I try to not do so many tiny needle projects in a row, but it'll be fine. I'm taking a little bit of a break before the Inzio socks to work on some larger gauge projects, so should be okay. All right, my next project after my sock extravaganza is going to be the Coastal Tank by, I believe it's Charissa. I'll put a picture on the screen and put their username as well. And I'm planning on using this yarn. So this is Wandering Flock. It's technically a sport weight, but I think it can work for fingering as well. It's merino, baby alpaca, and nylon. So I think I'll make a very nice little tank top. And I'm glad I'm making this near the end of the summer, since I think it'll get a lot more wear once it starts cooling down a little bit, because it is merino, alpaca, and nylon. It's not going to keep me very cool, but it's beautiful. I've been really wanting to work up this pattern for a while, and I think this yarn is going to be perfect for it, and I really want to get it done before summer ends, so gotta get on that. Next thing I'm planning on working on is another cumulus blouse. So if you watched my first video, I talked about the cumulus blouse I made in a bamboo yarn, and talked about how I really want to make one in the suggested yarn, which is a mohair or other fluffy yarn. I planning on using CaMaRose Midnatssol. So I have this color, which is Gragron. It's 9552. I don't know how to pronounce this word. So I have this color, and I have enough for half of it in this color. And I'm planning on actually marling this with a kind of lighter, almost beigey color. I think this on its own is very bright, and I don't necessarily want another garment in this. I've used this to make something else. So I think marling it with a beige will really tone it down. So I'm planning on actually picking that yarn up when I go to Seattle. One of the yarn shops I'm going to, La Mercier, carries CaMaRose, so I will be getting my beige yarn while I'm there. So this will happen soon as well, and I'm excited to just wear this around. I think it'll be really cozy. I want to get it done. It's been on my plans for a while. The next thing, which I'm super excited about, I don't have all the materials for it yet, but the star of the show is this yarn from Explorer Knits and Fibers. So it is their Joshua Tree National Park colorway on Suri alpaca lace, and I want to make the Friday slipover with that, so I'll insert a picture. So I'm planning on using this for the whole body, and then using the rest of the beige CaMaRose that I get for the neck, and then I'm planning on probably buying some of one of Knit Picks bare fingering bases. They sell a lot of their yarn just bare, and they have one, I think it's Stroll, which is a merino and silk base, which I think would give this garment a really wonderful drape and keep me a little cooler, since, you know, it's not a sweater. I don't want to wear it necessarily in the winter all the time. So I want to be able to wear this in the fall when it's a little bit warmer. So I'm hoping that using some yarn with some silk in it will help me achieve that. So very excited though. This yarn is just so beautiful. Like, oh, I love it. All of the colors, amazing. And I'm very excited to work up. I've never done like a variegated Suri or mohair with a more standard looking yarn. So I'm very excited to see how it works up. I'm already thinking I want to gauge swatch, but I don't have the fingering weight yarn I need yet. So this is coming soon, and it's so pretty. I don't want to set it down. I went to Explorer Knits. They had a summer market show, or a summer market, and I went, and I was kind of on a little bit of a yarn budget, just saving up for Seattle, because I know I'm going to spend a lot there, but I just could not set this down. I was walking through the whole thing, and I tried multiple times to be like, okay, I don't really have a great project for this right now, I don't need it, but I just couldn't set it down. It's so beautiful, and I'm so excited to work it up. So yeah, see when that comes. I need to order that yarn, of course, so that's why it's a little bit lower on the list, even though I'm very excited about it. Next thing, I have no yarn for this yet, but I really want to make the Moonset tee by Ozetta. So this is just a really nice t-shirt, and I'm planning on making it in Sandnes Garn Tynn Lean. I think that's how you say it, Tynn Lean maybe. But it's a cotton viscose linen blend. I don't quite know what color yet. Maybe a light green, or maybe a peach, or I might just go neutral. I just think that this would be a really great shirt to wear to work. A lot of my knitwear isn't super practical for work, you know, it's too warm, or I've cropped it too much, so I do really want a nice layering piece that will just look professional if I'm traveling or if I'm going into the office. So planning on doing that. It might fall down in the queue depending on, you know, when I feel like buying the yarn, but I do think I want to make this before it gets too cool. So somewhat soon, hopefully, unless I fully change my mind. That might happen with anything on this list, but tentative plans. Next thing, one of my coworkers is having a baby. His wife is due in December, and I really want to make them something, and I'm thinking that a weekend hat, you know, in the baby 0 to 1 year size would just be lovely, and a very practical piece for a few years. And I have all of this superwash yarn that, you know, at least they can throw it in the wash. They won't be able to dry it, but they both are hikers, climbers, so I think they already have a lot of those higher care pieces that, you know, you need to lay flat to dry, so I don't think this will be too big of a deal. We'll see, and if they ruin it, it's probably going to take me 2 hours to knit, so not the biggest deal. But I'm thinking of marling these somehow. I have 80 grams of this one. This is another Gemstate Yarns. I think it was called Robin's Egg. It's got, you know, just little speckles here and there, but it's mostly white base. So I might kind of do a faded marled where, you know, it starts maybe with the yellow and then moves to the green. Maybe goes to this one. I'm not really sure yet. Probably want to stick with more tonals to pair with this, but we'll see. Thinking about that right now. Don't really want to buy some new yarn for it, but if I have to, I will. But yeah, I would love to just do these two together, but I think, I have a deeper yellow that might look good with it. But I think I'd run out of the yellow too quickly, so I have to pair it. So we'll plan that one out a little bit more when the time comes. You know, I have 5 months to get it done, so I'm not super worried. But some plans for that. Then the next thing, I have no yarn for this either. I've ordered it, it's on the way, so I will both put a picture of the pattern and the yarn, but I want to make CaMaRose number 4 in some yarn from Zakami Yarns. The color is called Exordium. It's beautiful. I got their linen blend, which is a mix of alpaca, silk, and linen, so I think it's gonna have beautiful drape, just be a wonderful piece. I'm super excited to make that as well. I don't know when the yarn will arrive, so that's why it's a little bit lower on the list. They are a Scotland-based yarn dyer, and I'm in the US, and they're still dyeing the collection right now, so I'm not sure when everything will ship out, and then, you know, it might take 2-3 weeks to get to me, but very excited for that to arrive and start making that, which I am also using yarn from Zakami for the next project on my list, which is the Hewn Sweater by Agio Knit. Oh, I realized I haven't said designers for all of these, but I'll put it on the screen if I forgot to say. And I am making this with some Suri I ordered from Zakami Yarns in the color the Akashic Records. So beautiful. Again, I'll put a photo on the screen. Probably going to pair this with some Knit Picks palette. You know, the Suri was not cheap for this large of a garment, so I think I want to go with a more affordable yarn to pair it with, and Knit Picks palette seems really nice. I've heard good reviews about it. If anyone's watching and has another suggestion, please let me know. I'm not 100% convinced of that yet. You know, I'm looking for a fingering weight, non-acrylic, you know, mostly wool yarn in a beigey color. So I think Knit Picks palette will do that for me, but open to any suggestions as well. And I'm gonna take a water break. I think I'm going very quickly here, so if you need to pause or watch this slower, or, you know, check somewhere else, I will have my Ravelry linked with all of these in my queue. I'll put photos, links to the designs, so don't worry. I'm trying to make this as accessible as possible, while understanding I do speak quickly and I'm kind of rambly. So, all right. Wow, we're already on the 10th project. 10th thing I'm planning on making, let me grab the yarn, is the Film Reel socks by Alex Parker Mooney. I have been in love with these socks for a few months now, and I got the perfect yarn for them without even knowing I wanted to make these, not even knowing this design existed yet. So I'm very excited. I've had all the yarn lined up for a while, but they just keep getting pushed off because I'm kind of intimidated by it. It's a fair amount of color work. Probably not a fair amount, I don't know. It's some color work, and I haven't done the Fair Isle color work yet. I've done some Intarsia, but never done Fair Isle, so I just keep kind of putting it off because I'm nervous. But here is my palette for these socks. This yarn by Salty Blonde is called Front Porch. It is so beautiful. I think it's gonna look so wonderful in the film reel design. I'm planning on doing the short row heel, so I think it's really gonna shine, look beautiful, and since it's pretty much an all over color work pattern, I'll probably have enough to make a whole nother pair of socks after, so have to decide those two patterns, but oh, it's so beautiful. And then I just have the Sandnes Garn Sisu in black and white to pair with it, so very excited for those, and they're perfect. The socks are perfect. This yarn is perfect. I almost exclusively wear my hand knit socks to the movies. That's actually why I rushed to finish these, and I'm calling them my Barbie socks, is because I went and saw the Barbie movie yesterday and was trying to decide what socks I should wear to the movie, and realized the ones I was currently working on would be perfect for kind of the pastels in the movie, you know, perfectly matches some of what Ken wears throughout the movie, and then, you know, all the pinks is perfect. So rushed to finish these. These are my Barbie socks. I got to wear them to the movies for the first of many times, and these are gonna be perfect for wearing to the movies. They're film reels, so I need to make them. They might move up in my queue depending on, you know, if the urge to knit some socks strikes me, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm very excited though. Next thing on my list, I'm gonna scoot all the yarn a little closer, is the Marisia cardigan, I think that's how you pronounce it, by Vert and Rose. I love this design. It's so beautiful. I love the faux cabling. It looks so girly and dainty and lovely. And I have some yarn in my stash that I'm not quite sure it's going to work out. I still need to gauge swatch. I think that it's knit for a sport weight, maybe a DK weight. And I have this lace weight 100% baby alpaca by Yarnalia. I made my sweater number 15 in this as well. I have some swatches of it with some mohair, and I think this would be really beautiful if I held it together to make this cardigan. I have so much of this. I ordered double what I needed for the last project I did, so I can definitely get a full sweater out of this. And I think that the Marisia cardigan would just be so beautiful. So we'll see if the gauge works. But hopefully this turns into that. And if this won't work for that project, I do want to make that pattern eventually, just probably, you know, a little bit later on if I have to buy a new yarn for it. But yeah, excited about that. Then next thing on my queue is the Zoe zipper sweater by Sandnes Design. Sorry, I should have flipped this page first. I actually bought the book that has this. So this is the Sandnes Garn, one of their pattern books. It's 2212, and there's some beautiful patterns in it. The one I'm most excited about that I should have pulled up before, sorry about that, it's called the Zoe Zip Sweater. I cannot find it, but I do have a picture that I will insert on the screen, and I'm super excited about this one. I think it's, oh, here it is. So, looks like that. You know, I think it's fisherman's rib, or half fisherman's rib with the double knit, and then you add your zipper. It's beautiful. The pattern calls for Tynn Peer Ghent and Tynn Silk Mohair. I actually think I'm going to just use Purl Soho Good Wool. It's a sport weight. and I don't necessarily want to use mohair in a design that goes that high to your neck. So I've been looking for a yarn that just has some nice fluff to it, but isn't going to irritate me. And I think that Purl Soho Good Wool will be very good. So Tynn Pure Ghent is a fingering weight, plus the mohair might make a sport. And the Good Wool I've heard is got very, I don't want to say fluffy, but it's very open and has some nice volume to it. So I think that it would make a very nice sweater and sub those two yarns well. So I have to buy some of that and swatch for it, but that's my tentative plan. You know, I bought the book, so I have to make the pattern. I don't quite know when. It's a big project. I've never done fisherman's rib and I've never done a zipper, so we'll see when I feel like doing that one, but I'm super excited about it. It probably will be, you know, October, if not November. All right, and the final thing on my list that I'm not quite sure when I will do this. It might move up, but I want to make some sort of hat with this yarn. So this is the Yarn Addict's free range fingering base, so it's 100% merino, non-superwash. Sorry, in the color Petal Perch. I use this for my April cardigan, which I held that with mohair, and I have a whole skein left. So I think I want to make a hat with it. Tentatively, I'm thinking the Musselburgh hat, but I'm really worried that this won't be enough yarn for it. This is 437 yards, so I could, you know, do something inside. It's the design, if you've never seen it before, you knit a tube and then you fold the tube in half and you wear it like that, so it's ends up kind of being double layered. I could just get, you know, some cheaper yarn to finish the inside. Maybe I actually use the rest of the Sisu from Sandnes Garn to put inside, or I do a different design. I've also thought about holding this double for Patina's Oslo hat, or I could do another weekend hat, but I don't know. I think that a more stockinette project would really let this yarn shine. It's so beautiful. Like, I love the colors in it, so I want to give it the chance to shine. So we'll see what I choose there. And I don't know when I'll do this yet. If anyone has information about, you know, if you've knit a Musselburgh hat or another fingering weight hat, and you can share, you know, how much yarn you needed, I would really appreciate that. I think, you know, the Musselburgh is especially confusing because it's kind of an any gauge project, so I can't get exact yardage on the Ravelry description. I think I have to buy the pattern, and it's, you know, an $8 pattern, so I don't want to buy it if it's not going to work out for me. So yeah, if anyone has any tips, I'd definitely appreciate hearing them. Otherwise I'll probably just dive in, but that's why it's last on the list, given that I have a lot of questions around if this is enough and what I should do if it's not. So yeah, those are all of the things I'm planning on knitting for the next few months. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some inspiration as well. It's a large list. I probably will cut some things out or end up knitting something completely different, but hopefully this is some good inspiration for you in this, you know, kind of transition season between summer and fall. I think, you know, you want to get your last few summer knits out, but you're also really excited about sweaters. So hopefully, you know, the yarns I showed, some of the colors or the patterns themselves inspired you to add something to your queue as well. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.